The Biden administration is now considering dropping charges on Julian Assange. This comes at the request of the Australian government, who is now asking the Biden administration to drop charges. Think about how crazy this is. We have Australia, one of the top allies of the United States, making a request to the United States not to go after one of their journalists. And the response of the Biden administration is, maybe. Like, what do you mean you're considering it? You either believe in the free press or you do not. Australia is far from the only one. We had other close U.S. allies like Lula in Brazil, AMLO in Mexico, who've been calling on the Biden administration to lift charges against Julian Assange. We have countless journalists, advocacy groups. We even have organizations like NPR who are pro-establishment, who understand how dangerous going after Julian Assange and journalists the way Biden is doing. I have no faith that Biden will stop pursuing Julian Assange. But if he did, he's only doing so because the United States already accomplished their objective. The message sent to journalists was clear. If you expose United States war crimes, they will break the law in order to torture you, in order to destroy your life and your health. I said it before and I'll say it again. The biggest threat to free speech and journalism in the world today is the new axis of evil, the United States, UK, and Israel. What's poppin'? What's poppin', my friends, my family? Hope you guys are having a great weekend. We are on day 3, the third live stream of we doing Nick at Noon. We had a banger on Thursday. I'm back once again. You guys know banger after banger. You guys know I'm doing 4 hotspot videos a week now. Hotspot like, man, can you make one more a week for me? You guys, I'm like, bro, Nico, say no more. Hope you guys check out the stream yesterday. Thursday, my last show. If you're gonna check out any stream, that's the stream you check out. Big shout out to my friend Ashley. Big shout out to Madison for Palestine for hooking me up with all these diverse thought of the Palestinian movement. And I'm extremely happy. One of the activists on the panel said he was watching RBN for a while. And I take pride in the fact that these are our roots. Like, these are, you guys see, these are people that fuck with us, the Palestinian activists. If I want to bring on some labor organizers, it's nothing. Just like that. If I want to bring on people, anti-imperialists, people who are actually based, the proletariat, the people who are actually in the struggle, the Palestinian voices, these are the people I'd rather ally with any day of the week over the professional managerial class, in which we are completely done with. I'll speak for myself. I'm completely done with them. We only need each other. We only elevate our voices. That's what Nick at Night Season 2 is all about. No candidates. All these candidates asking to come on my show? No. This is for us. This is the media arm of the revolution that RBN wants to create, the self-governance that RBN wanted to create. We just one part of that. I talk about self-governing and revolution. Rejecting professional managerial class politics. The era of civility politics is dead. Civility politics led into a genocide. A whole lot of genocide. I'll introduce my guest here. We got a great friend, Misty. You guys already see how I'm starting this show today. You guys know what time it is. By the way, the reason why I'm late, the reason why I started late, because my note, some reason there's something wrong with the servers here. My notebook is fucked up. So my outline is all fucked. I was panicking before the show. I know what we're gonna talk about. I had to pull a ton of tabs up. Like, the whole show got fucked up because something wrong with my internet. I don't know, servers or my.
Like we ever stick to an outline though, Nick.
I was like, this is the perfect. I was like, if it's gonna happen, if it was solo, I'll be screwed. But I was like, if my outline is unaccessible, I use this online app that I use to plan on my shows. I can't reach. I was panicking. But I got Misty here with me. You guys see, so we're gonna rant. We're gonna talk about FISA later today. But what I mentioned now is the era, the civility politics and the professional managerial class left, who they view their accomplishments, they view their title as their accomplishment. And I'm gonna explain what I mean by that. They think they are holier than thou. They think they know more than all of us because they got a doctorate degree. But what have you done? What have you actually done other than doing that? Like, for example, Cori Bush if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, she has a book deal. My friends, why do Cori Bush have a book deal? What has she accomplished? Nothing.
Nothing.
What she would say and what her friends would say, they would say, well, Cori Bush got elected. That's their accomplishment. I want to introduce my guest because I can go all down. I want to introduce Misty before I get too crazy. What's poppin', my friend? What's poppin', my friend?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I need this rant. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, we don't need an outline today because there's so much to touch on. And before we get to the FISA thing, I want to show you guys this. Actually, I want to get your thoughts on the Julian Assange story. I want to get your general opinion because we all know it's bullshit. But I want to pass it to you before we get really started. I want to pass it to you first. So, what's your thoughts on the story about Biden considering dropping charges on Assange? Let's start there.
Well, I'll preface this by saying that I think we should take every opportunity that is presented to us to put more pressure on the United States government about Julian Assange. But if you watch the video, I'm not even convinced Joe Biden knew what he was talking about or what had been asked of him. He looks very confused, right? I mean, he always looks confused, but he had to ask, I didn't hear you. You know what I mean? Like, he had no idea what was going on. He was doing that old man shuffle thing that he does. So I'm not even convinced that he actually knew what he was talking about or what had actually been asked of him. However, it did get a lot of attention. It got a lot of coverage, which is hard to get, unfortunately, most of the time. So it was talked about, which I do think it was funny, though, that on Twitter, Belmarsh trended on the 11th because it was the 5-year anniversary, and WikiLeaks trended, but the name Assange never trended. I'm sure that's totally legit.
Bro, the video, the hotspot video, and remember we talked about this last time on the show. You gotta know it's Julian Assange is nowhere near the fucking title, even though I was gonna ask Misty about that because they suppress. I released a hotspot video on Julian Assange, worst video I ever put out in terms of numbers. I don't care because I care about covering the story. I'll just bring this point to let you guys know there's some intense algorithm shit regarding Julian Assange. If you release Julian Assange, if you look at any channel, not just us, take me out of it, any channel that release Julian Assange content, I promise you that's going to be the lowest view count content they're going to release all year. But Misty, I'll pass back to you.
No, that's it. Listen, people will say that, oh, you're being dramatic or you're not censored. Oh, yeah, we are. Believe me. And it's always been that way. It's always been that way. But it has gotten, everybody keeps trying to pretend as if Elon Musk saved free speech. It has gotten so much worse since Elon took over Twitter. Legit, it has gotten so much worse.
They suppress links from independent journalist links now. Like, no, I want to be clear because there's caveats here and there's nuance in this argument because old Twitter wasn't good either.
No.
But like Elon is unapologetically like the mission statement is they want people to write on Twitter, so they're going to suppress other links, and the suppression of links from independent journalists have gone up. It's been intense. Like Matt Taibbi, Max Blumenthal, pretty much all friends. Everyone noticed it. Everyone talked about it. But I'll let you continue your thoughts. Sorry, Misty.
No, I mean, jump in whenever. You know, I tend to ramble, so sometimes you just have to shut me up. But yeah, it is. It's insane the amount, and it always gets worse around certain significant dates. Like obviously, April 11th was the 5-year anniversary of him essentially being kidnapped. So the censorship always kicks up. Now they're using the porn bots. If you want to test it, go tweet something about Assange and watch the porn bots come running. They will come running to your tweet.
It's hard.
Yes,
every tweet I can have, I get a few of them. It's crazy.
Yes, it's so annoying. But Elon's gonna kill all the bots, guys. That was
one of the main things he was saying. That was one of the main things his fans were saying.
It's worse. It's worse now, motherfucker. It's worse. Ridiculous.
It's essentially unusable. Like I stalk all you motherfuckers. Like my good friends. Like people like you, Misty, JB, the RBN fan, the people you see on my show. I don't ever go on my timeline. like I barely ever. I just look at my notifications. When I get notifications for you guys. That's how I have like my own custom feed. If you guys don't do that, Twitter is a hellhole. X Twitter, wherever the fuck you want to call it. You have to stalk your friends. I stalk the shit out of my friends.
It's so ridiculous. I see more tweets from people I have never heard of that I don't follow I follow. It's so stupid. And listen, I also don't want to be isolated into my echo chamber. Like, I don't want to just see my friends, but I would like to see my friends. It's, you know what I mean? Like somebody like you who I interact with on a regular basis, I have to go looking for your tweets.
I would never, ever, I talk to CJ about this all the time. I would never, ever see CJ's tweet if I just looked on the feed.
Yeah. No, I never.
Literally never. Like,
Yeah.
for real, I would never ever see CJ's tweet.
No.
CJ is the most shadow banned motherfucker on Twitter. When have you guys ever seen CJ tweet? Go to his page and look how many times he retweeting tweets. You guys never see it. I only see CJ's tweets when he's sending it in our group. Like,
Yeah.
CJ sends his tweet. He does that because CJ is. I see Ron tweets sometimes too. That's crazy. I would see like Ron's tweets. I would see Savvy's
Rome's
tweets sometimes. But like CJ, his account has been nuked in a way I have never seen before. He
Yeah.
had the same like 30,000 to 40,000. I don't know the exact number of followers for a very long time.
Dude, don't even get
CJ's
me
very
started.
offline, so he don't care. But it's crazy, bro, what they have done to his account. They don't even hide it.
It's bad. It's really bad. And around the Assange stuff, it's definitely really bad. So, yeah, that's what we're up against. It's lots of fun.
I want to show you guys this because I've been having a lot of fun with this. I'll start here because I've literally got to. You guys probably hear me type. I'm literally got to type all the fucking articles because my show was derailed. There was a software glitch. I can't open my notes. So I'm literally ad-libbing this. That's why I'm glad. There's no better show I could do right now than no better guest I can have right now than Misty. Thank fucking God.
We'll get distracted 7 times between stories. Yeah, it'll be fine. It's good.
Yeah, thank God we got Misty because now I have time to pull some stuff up while we have a great chat. So I'm gonna start here. We're gonna get to the FISA thing, but you guys know I've been covering this story since the beginning. In fact, I've been covering Yemen extensively ever since I started in citizen journalism. The same way I've been covering Israel-Palestine. Now people, I move on, but it's something I focused on. Now people catching up, and now people understand why the issue is very important. Now people understand why I've been so interested in Yemen as well. What's going on with the Ansar Allah and the resistance, the axis of resistance they are building there? The same with everything else that applies in life generally. You don't have to agree with everything they do and say, but what they are doing in the resistance of the West, the way they defeated the United Arab Emirates, the way they defeated Saudi Arabia, the way they claim their own sovereignty and resist the West, it's a crazy story.
Yeah, it is.
If you're an anti-imperialist, anti-colonialist, it's the craziest thing you will ever see. The success that Yemen has. Now, I'm actually mad I fucking buried the lead because I've showed you guys a few of these funny tweets around the time of Operation Prosperity Guardian. And here's another one. Because all these tweets are being resurfaced. Also been having a great time mocking the United States military, making these chuds very upset because we gotta break the psychosis that people have that the United States is invincible. I just have theories. I think there are a few things that the United States left and anti-war movements failed to do in general. I think the U.S. military worship has not helped us at all. It makes no sense for us to worship the military and be anti-war. It makes no sense for us to pretend the United States military is stronger and not what it is. There's a reason why the propagandists project the United States military as strong. It's so people are more likely to accept their wars. That people were 100% okay with Vietnam until they saw soldiers come back in body bags. Never let them change history. They wasn't upset with Vietnam because Vietnamese people was dying. It was until American soldiers came back in body bags, people started to give a damn. So we got to break this illusion that the United States military in the West is invincible, which has been something I've been actively doing because I'm not just an ordinary commentator. I have a plan of action. I'm a propagandist in a lot of ways, unapologetically for the proletariat, unapologetically for our civil liberties. I'm sorry this is my intro monologue. I'll pass it to you, but listen, look at this here. This is one example of these Western chauvinists, these warmongers, and you can tell by the flags in this guy's profile. If you look at all these tweets, it's unhinged shit. The Ukraine flags here.
And look at this tweet here. What the fuck is that? Does he have Ukraine and Palestine?
There's a psyop, very obvious psyop going on where liberals are trying to get people who are pro-Palestine because their pro-Palestinian position is very popular. Supporting Ukraine among our age is very unpopular. So it's a very smart psyop where they're trying to pair those two together. Very transparent. No one's falling for it as shown in the poll.
That just makes me think that you're a little bit crazy or something. That you don't know what's going on in the
world. They
don't
actually believe it because if you actually grill them on the Palestine issue, it never fails. And I'm telling you guys this because you guys are way more offline than I am. I happily admit that ever since I became a citizen journalist, I am very fucking online. I am very aware of all these psyops that's going on. So these people, whenever you see these Ukraine flags, Palestine flags, push them on Hamas, push them on Palestinian resistance, and you see what that flag really fucking means. These people, it's literally fake. They're not even pro-Palestine. Don't
They're
even
probably
give.
not even real people. These are probably
Yeah,
bot
that too.
accounts. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that
They're
too.
everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah, that too. This person, it was worth going after because many people, like Missy said, she is correct. Like 90% of these neocon accounts are bots. They're programmed by the Pentagon. They're psyops. But this person's a YouTuber. Like there's a face behind
Oh,
it.
okay.
Like he's a person. That's the only. That one of the reasons why I think this
I've
is
never heard of
funny, and this is
him.
why he's getting. Oh Jesus Christ! Oh my God, this shit got 1.4 million. Guys, this guy is getting dragged into the dirt because me and a few of our friends, not just me, but me and a few of our friends are digging up these tweets of people saying that the Yemen is fun. Let's read this tweet. Let's listen to the condescension here. And you guys see why I'm having a fun time. I'm leading with a fun story here. Tankies are really something. The tankies. Now, Misty, my good friend, when not everyone had to agree with me on labels, Misty, my good friend, is not a communist. A lot of people I have my friends on my shows are not communists. Do dissonance are not communists. But I promise you, these people will call Misty and do dissonance a tanky.
For sure. I get called that all the time.
Being,
I get called commie all the time, and I get called everything, which I think makes me very happy because that means I'm not falling into any one box. And I literally get called. I get called a Hillary Clinton supporter. I get called a Biden supporter, a Russian, a tanky, a commie, a right winger, a Nazi. I think I've gotten it all.
Why you guys think I take so much importance on defining terms?
Right?
Why you guys think I am rejecting anti-intellectualism? Because they do this on purpose, fam. Yeah. They are purposely trying to dumb down the working class with this shit. So the point I was making is tankies mean nothing. Tanking mean you resist the establishment. So I promise you, if you're a redneck person who think you hate communism, you can have an account and you can speak out against the Ukraine war. You can speak out against unfair income inequality, and they're gonna call you a tanky. So that was one of the reasons why I was like, fuck it, I might as well call myself a communist. They called me in anyway, before I was even comfortable calling myself a communist. So what's the fucking point? Anyway, let's move on, because I don't want to belabor that point. Let's continue to tweet. Tankies really are really something. If they think the Houthis, can't even put respect on their names. If they think the Houthis have even the remotest chance of surviving the sheer amount of democracy they're about to receive. Now let's analyze what this means. Remember, this is a YouTuber. This is an actual person here. You guys see how they know the psyop bullshit terms they say is bullshit? And you guys see how the youth among the neocon youth would joke how they fuck with us, right? They know when they say they're spreading democracy, they know what that means. They know when they talk about anti-communist ideology, they know what that means. Once again, I don't demand my friends be communists. The only line of saying I draw is anti-communism, because it's the ideology that led to the death of millions. You don't have to call yourself a communist, but don't be anti-communist. That's where I do draw the line. But you guys see, they know spread democracy, find communism means killing people. Yeah, they know it, but they call it conspiracy theorists if we say it. Sorry, I'm rambling for a lot. There's a lot to present. Missy, do you want to chime in before I move on?
No, just you're absolutely right. It's gross how they're just so flippant about, oh, here comes the democracy, meaning here comes a bunch of civilian deaths and the overthrowing of your democratically elected government and the overtaking of your country and all your resources. Like, that's what they mean, right? But they're just fine with that. Like, it's such a disgusting mentality. It's hard to wrap my head around it, honestly. It really is. Like, I saw somebody arguing the other day about how it's fine to invade other countries and take over their stuff. And
if your ideology is literally crazy, and I'm glad I finally got a platform. I never thought I would. I thought I was gonna sell cars for the rest of my life. I thought I was gonna be like a customer service, not just selling cars. I thought I was gonna be like in sales. Like, I imagined that before I was radicalized. I realized they was still in my labor value. I said, fuck that shit. You know what I mean? But I'm glad I have this platform where I can expose this insane ideology I've been seeing for a very long time that people think is normal. People think terrorist ideology is normal. Like, you will see normal arguments made about the genocide in Gaza, where they say, well, Israel is right to do whatever they are doing right now because of October 7th. No, that is literally not true. There is no exception in international law for revenge. But you guys see, their ideology is counter to that. Right now, we are seeing a rebellion of the West regarding international law and the Geneva Conventions. And America not batting an eye. You know, we just following pop culture. I'm watching Netflix. Oh my god, we watching NBA. Oh my god, you know, this is NBA final. They're UFC 300. I'm gonna watch UFC 300 tonight, and I'm gonna keep my mind off it. I watched WrestleMania last week. You know what I did the whole time? WrestleMania, they had this banger show. The entire time I'm watching WrestleMania, I think about the Gaza genocide.
I know. It's hard
I'm
to
having a hard
not.
time enjoying shit, fam. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm having a hard time enjoying shit. Misty, you got anything you want to add?
No, it's so, and it's hard to even like express that to people. Like it's so weird. Like right now, people will be like, "Hey, how you doing?" That's such a weird question right now. Like,
So
"Hey, how you
weird.
doing?" I mean, not great, actually. You know what I mean? Like it's shit is really fucked up, and I'm witnessing a genocide being live streamed for the whole world to see, and nothing much is being done to stop it. But I'm just going about my day, doing the things that I'm doing while people are getting slaughtered en masse. Like it's just weird, right? It's weird.
So
Thank you.
Marxism is a critique of the capitalist structure. And I'm asking you guys, where have we been wrong regarding the critiques of the United States? Everything we have told you guys have been correct. We was correct regarding the CIA. Before the right wing, who's now caught up late, who was telling you guys the truth about the CIA? Socialists. We're the first one on everything. You guys know that, right? I know you guys don't like to call yourself that. The first one on every single fucking thing, calling this stuff out. You want to know who the first people standing with Palestine was? The Black Panthers, Black Socialists, Black Communists. Who's first on every single issue? But you guys hate communists, though. Ask yourself, ask yourself these questions, guys. And I just pose this. I'm not calling anyone out. I'm just saying this in general. I just want you people to think. You know what I mean? We are always out in front. Who's calling out the Ukraine war? We're the communists that is supporting Ukraine. No, every single communist around the world be calling that out. You know who's supporting the Ukraine war? Capitalists.
Well, that's how they make their money.
People think. I'm not asking people to support my ideology. I just understand. Reject anti-communism. Stop thinking communists and these people are your enemies. These are the people fighting the establishment that you hate. You understand? And you see the hatred of these swamp monsters? Ask the Ukrainian regime how they feel about us. The first thing that the Nazis did, the same thing that Zelensky did, was ban collecting organizing rights for workers. The first thing fascists do is ban socialist and communist activities. Do you guys understand? Because we are a general threat to their power. But because of social pressure in the West, people are afraid to admit this because they don't want to be ostracized socially. They don't want to be villainized by their community. But you guys say I don't care about that. And also I have the benefit of having apolitical family members. So I do have that benefit too. But anyway, I'll move on because I don't want to get too ranty on this point. But I love the victory dance this guy is doing regarding tankies. And this is our good friend Midwestern Marks, who I had to reschedule a panel with them. They're going to be on next week as well. My good friend Midwestern Marks. Now let's talk about the reality of the situation. Actually, I see my friend Monica. I wasn't playing this, but I'll read her receipt because everyone is going in on them. Holy shit! I didn't look at this for a while. Damn, this racial juice. I gotta look at this later because I was one of there's a lot of people that digging up these old tweets like, oh, what was this you, bro? This is one of the receipts. I'll read it because my friend Monica posted it. U.S. could remove Houthis from terror lists in exchange for Red Sea Quiet Report. Do you guys understand that's complete and utter defeat? Because the Ansarullah is absolutely not taking that deal. They have no reason to. The reason why Biden put them back on the terrorist list was because of the resistance. So why would Ansarullah accept this deal when they was 100% okay with being put on the terrorist list? That was not a concern with them. This is pure desperation. Another headline I read, and I'll get your thoughts on this, Misty. Look at this. Complete and utter concessions, complete and embarrassment from the Biden administration. You want to know who predicted this? Months ago, the college dropout. I did a hotspot video telling you guys exactly how this was going to end. And I remember the neocon people like, oh my God, Nick is just an anti-American piece of shit. You guys are going to be eating your words. Now you guys know why I'm doing a 25-minute victory dance right now? This segment is hilarious to me. The United States dangles Yemen bait, but Ansarullah doesn't bite. What is debate you mean? The United States has secretly offered a stunning array of concessions. They was getting their ass beat so bad The Biden administration realized that they have no chance to accomplish their political goal, so they was willing to offer them concessions, like recognizing Ansar Allah officially as a state and establishing friendly relationships with them. Do you guys understand how much Yemen checkmated the United States for something like this to happen? Miss, I'll give you any thoughts before we move on. There's a lot to cover here.
Well, I mean, the idea that here's the thing: why would anybody make a deal with the United States on anything ever for any reason? Like right now in the Assange case, the whole thing is they want U.S. assurances that they promise they're going to be super nice to Julian Assange. Like that's that's not even worth the paper it's written on. The United States doesn't keep its end of any bargain ever. So the idea that, oh, yeah, let's make a deal, we're going to get taken off the terrorist list. What the fuck does that even matter? Who cares?
It doesn't matter. That's literally a panic. When I first read that, I was like, I literally started laughing. It's literally
and it highlights what you were talking about earlier, how weak the U.S. actually is. We are a paper tiger. Like, it is becoming abundantly clear, right? People are figuring it out. I think you're absolutely right.
I wish I had my fucking outline, guys. You understand how much I'm in shambles. I can't believe I'm barely holding it together. but remember the story. Remember Russia sent. I'm trying to find the story. I'm scrambling. Russia sent their warships to the Red Sea. Here it is. Damn, barely got in time. I have another receipt I'm desperately trying to find as well. Let me check my email. Where you have.
If you need me to ramble for some time, just say.
You good? You good? Here you have Russia who sent warships there. I'm looking for this other article that I saved because I'm trying to remember. You have the United Arab Emirates. You have a few other countries that are threatening. I'll be vague until I find the receipt. I'll be vague. You had a few countries that was telling the United States centrally, if you guys continue to act against the Ansar Allah, if you guys act against Iran, we might intervene. It's like you have the Middle East that is emboldened because of Yemen's action.
Yeah,
I can't find it, but I'll move on. The point being, Yemen is already being legitimized because of their action. China and Yemen and Russia made a deal.
Yemen blows my mind.
Go ahead, Misty. I'll pass to you. Go ahead. Feel free to interrupt.
Yemen blows my mind. Like you were talking about earlier. Like the idea that it's Yemen that is standing up in the way that they are. I gotta admit, I didn't see that coming. I really didn't see that. I didn't see it being Yemen, and there they are. And that's, I mean, you're right. It is quite a story.
It surprised me too.
Yeah,
because you guys don't understand how much damage they took during the Saudi Arabia siege.
They're still in a bad way.
These are the warriors of our time. Like, you know what I mean? I talk about people with mad want to say the United States military not warriors. They're not. They're there for college. They're not warriors. Like, I see these people that average veterans I see in my gym, right? Like, you're not a warrior. You're just an athletic American. You know what I mean? But in Yemen, these people are forced to be warriors, forced to be extremely mentally tough, extremely narrow-eyed on their goal. And many military generals. I need to stop ranting. But there's a rant I did before where I explained how when you look at the great generals in history, war criminals, including Napoleon, Hannibal, a lot of the great generals, they understand what it means to actually have a warrior, what it means to have soldiers that have something to fight for, even if it means they had to trick them with propaganda. Yeah. United States military in the West, they don't even pretend to have that. Hey, come on, man, go to the United States military so you can graduate college. What does that mean? That means they are in the military just so they graduate college. That means they're not about to put their life on the line for a cause. Remember, because they're only there to go to college.
I think there are some who are like totally brainwashed into the mission and all. Yeah, but you're right. Yeah. It is because we have essentially a poverty draft in this country. People go, if you ask anybody in the military, there will be two answers that you will get: either healthcare or college.
Found it.
That's why people. Yeah, you found it.
You guys see, I had to go on that rant I did before because I was stalling for time a little bit. But I was explaining before, that's another reason why Yemen is so strong. Like, their will to fight, the fact that they forced Saudi Arabia to force peace. They couldn't defeat them. They couldn't get rid of the government coalition because they also had the support of the people. This is despite Saudi Arabia starving tens of thousands of children. Their mass famine that they produce. Despite that, the people of Yemen still supported them because they understood that their government was standing against the imperialist colonialists that led to their situation in the first place. It leads to ironclad support for leaders. This is what the West don't understand. When they see, why does Putin has 80% approval rate? It must be rigged. Xi Jinping got 8%. No, when there's a unifying force, and there's a few things that people don't understand. When you have, for one, a government that provide healthcare for people like Russia and China, there's that. Also, the unifying force. When you have a crazy Western empire that's trying to destroy your government, that's going to make you more supportive of a government you see resisting that. That would lead to Putin being popular. That would lead to Nicolas Maduro being popular. Because despite the sanctions, people see him resisting empire. These are things that Western institutions don't even think about when they develop their geopolitical strategies. When you read theory and study history, you understand and see these losses coming. When people say, "What, Nick? How can you see this coming?" Because our system is set up to fail, and people still think this is the 1950s. People think it's the 1950s where the United States is a dominant military force with intellectual thinkers. You can concede, like when you look at General Lee, the Confederate, like people will say he's one of the greatest military generals of all time. When you look at the war criminals and the evil villains that the United States had in the past, you can make the legitimate argument that it was competent oligarchs, competent rulers, like in competent or go. That is not what we have, and people need to understand that empires die. Why do empires die? Because the dumb kids take the reins. The smart, evil motherfuckers climb the ladder. They get the empire where it needs to be. Then the dumb kids take over. Then the Nepo babies come in. Then the people who sell out their community, the worst among the black community come in. The worst among the Latinos, the sellouts come in. And then you weaken your government over time. You see, and when you break out of Western chauvinistic thinking, you look at every one of these engagement individuals like, all right, how is the United States going to patrol the Red Sea, which is the size of California? Doesn't make sense on face value. The only reason why people believe that is because they watch too many Hollywood movies. They watch the Marine, and they think the United States military is something that they're absolutely not.
Yeah.
You guys see why this thought process of educating people on the weakness of the United States military, which the United States left refused to do, has been a failure of the anti-war movement. The reason why they're able to sell these wars is because people think we're going to win. The reason why people send their child out to war because they think they're going to be safe. One of the mothers that had the black kids who died in Syria, she didn't even know why they was there. The fuck? Once again, I will never say anything mean to these people's face, but we have to have these conversations about how fucking absurd these people are. You send your child to a country, you don't even know why they're there?
That's amazing. That's amazing. That just makes me really depressed that people, I mean,
it's so crazy.
I can't even.
You're a mother, so you know.
I can't even. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. There's absolutely no way.
Misty, you wouldn't send your child out into a random country nowhere to buy time, to stall and provoke Iran to attack them. You wouldn't do that.
No. Absolutely not. And it is astonishing to me. I get that the propaganda game is incredibly strong. I get that they're very good. Like this is decades and decades and decades of brainwashing. I understand that. From the moment we exit the womb in this country, we are bombarded with America's number one propaganda constantly from every angle. It is in everything that we do. I mean, it is fireworks and eagles and all that shit, right? And all of that shit. So I mean, I get that that's very pervasive and it's incredibly effective. However, I don't know how, after watching, the past several decades, how anybody could still be buying into that. So many things have been exposed. So many, weapons of mass destruction, the Gulf of Tonkin, the Syrian gas attacks, time after, and now with Israel Palestine, you've got Israel literally lying like I don't know, daily, really. But then because we have social media now, people are able to call that out in real time, and I think people are being exposed. So if you still buy into that, well, I don't understand that. And also, you mentioned about this creating Putin being popular and Xi being popular, all these people. And not only is it creating that environment, but it's also bringing those people together. They now have a common enemy, and that's us. And we've done that to ourselves, and we need to just reckon with that, because I feel like a lot of people are not willing to take ownership. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to blame Putin and Maduro and all of these people for coming together against the United States, when what else were they supposed to do? I mean, it's just, you're right. It's honestly astonishing to me that the United States is still standing. Like, not like I think it's going to crumble entirely, but
if you allow, especially now they're talking about going war with Iran and war with China,
yeah,
if you allow your and guys, I've seen people leave comments. The obvious caveat to this is if you're a parent who tried and your child can't listen, there's nothing you can do at that point.
yeah,
That's the obvious caveat. The point being, if you're a parent and you don't try anything you can to stop your child from listening, because obviously that's the caveat, right? So if you don't stop your child from enlisting after they are literally head faking a war with China,
yeah.
a war with Afghanistan, well, not Afghanistan, a war with Iran,
I mean,
a war with they continue all these wars, and you're gonna let your child enlist? If at this point, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear your fucking complaints.
no.
At this point, you're complicit, and your child's. I know I'm an asshole, guys, but I'm not a liberal. I've explained this many times before. I reject liberalism. I reject victimhood shit. Oh, Mom, they don't know any better. No, I am a Marxist. I demand people be better. We demand people to learn. That's what we believe.
Why would you?
I am not a liberal. I demand accountability. And then right now, it's game time. Civility, like it's game time at this point. We need to demand better. And if you're out here sending your child die to war, I think that's a red line. That's just me. But Misty, I know you want to chime in, and then we can get back on topic because I know I went way long on the segment I planned, but I threw my notebook away. So it is what it is. We do FISA next. We cover that next. But go ahead, Misty.
I just don't know how anybody can enter into that decision, literally selling yourself to the United States government to be used essentially as a weapon of war. How are people not educating? Like, I can't imagine as a mother, if let's say my kid, as you mentioned, you can't control your kids once they reach a certain age, you kind of just have to throw up your hands and be like, all right, not much I can do about that. You can do your best to discourage them, but ultimately it becomes their decision. So maybe there's that situation, but I mean, I just can't imagine then not knowing. Like, if my kid's headed off to Syria, I want to know why. I want to know all the things. I want to know literally all of the things about why we are in Syria. So the idea that there are people out there my kid's headed off to Syria and they're just like, oh, okay, no questions asked. I'm sure they're fine in the hands of the government. Like, that's a mind-blowing mentality to me. Mind-blowing.
Another reason why I'm not easy on them at all is because my mom is aggressively apolitical. I mean, there's nothing that turned my mom off faster than politics.
Yeah,
like,
my mom's
there's nothing. Like my mom watched my hotspot video just because they're catchy, but she's like, "There's no fucking way I will ever." And I'm glad she don't because I curse like a sailor. She's like, "There's no way I will ever watch." She hates politics. She couldn't stand it. She's a single mother with 3 kids. Last thing she could ever consider. Yeah. Her apolitical ass, who don't know anything about no goddamn Syria, her reaction to me considering joining the military was hell no.
Yeah, my brother wanted to go into the Marines. I spent 6 months talking my brother out of the Marines.
You talked to Malvin? Good for you, Misty. Base is always.
He's my brother, therefore stubborn. However, I did manage to talk him out after 6 months or so.
That's the only thing you can do. That's why I say you got to at least try. I'm not saying I wasn't people, and I guess I wasn't like I didn't explain it well. People were like, oh, you can't just blame me. What if they can't stop me? Yeah, I want you to try. Yeah. If you don't try, that's the point. The point being, my mom, who don't know anything about goddamn Syria, my mom she don't know goddamn Taliban. You had my mom any of these questions, I'm not making fun of her. That is not her thing. She don't know anything about it. But the idea of me ever joining the military, she was like, there is no fucking way. That was always clear to me from day one. So to me, that's why I have this reaction. It's crazy to me that in the year 2024, knowing what we do right now, that people still send their children out to die. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. We can run on this all day. I have done it with multiple people at this point. Anyway, this is something I hit on. This is the last thing I'm gonna share because I think it's funny. And then we get to the FISA story next. We keep it around hour 15 today.
You guys remember these notepads? Are you old enough? You might not be old enough to remember these. These growing up, we used to have like little like for messages and things like that, where you like tick off like so and so called, left a message. You know what I mean? It's so funny.
I wish I can. I think this came from. I'm assuming maybe at the bottom. Which I knew someone sent me this. I was like, dude, this is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. I need every single one of these accounts that was fighting against me for the last few months of my Yemen coverage to fill this out. This is the official Yemen apology form. I'm gonna read it out for the people who can't see it. I mean, that's the leader of Yemen. I always butcher her name, Saeed Abdul. I don't want to butcher her name. That's why I always avoid saying her name out of respect because I don't like to butcher it. but that's the leader of Yemen. So this is maybe some explanations if you want to check the box. Maybe these are the reason why you fell for Empire talking points. For all the people that thought the Ansar Allah couldn't win, maybe you let the media convince you they was weak. Because, that's the job of the media. The media try to convince people that Russia was weak. That's why people support war with Ukraine. You guys see why my objective is more than just me being inflammatory, I guess, for lack of a better term. People think I'm trolling neocons. No, I have an agenda. I'm very open about it. I have a peace agenda. One of the most important things that we can do, as I said, that the left has not done is spread the idea that it's true that we are not as strong as they present us to be. They present us to be as strong so people will support war. If there's a chance we will lose, people won't support war. It is literally that simple. So it's crazy to me when you see left people talking about, Russia's fall into empire talking points. But anyway, let's move on. They overlooked the victories that the Ansar Allah had in Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates. So why do people use starvation as a tool of war? Why is Israel use starvation as a tool of war against Hamas? That's when you can't win. So you know why they starved tens of thousands of children in Yemen? Because they couldn't win. You guys realize that's the resort of the West and their allies whenever they can't win is to starve them. So you know that.
I mean, is there worse? I'm sorry. Is there worse tiny dick energy? Seriously.
Greatest terrorists we ever seen in human history is the United States and Israel and their allies.
We can't win, so we're going to starve babies. Like, that's okay.
Yeah. Ugh. So this is something people forget because people are like, what about the Yemen genocide? No, that genocide happened and they targeted the population because they couldn't defeat Ansar Allah. These are things I'm learning a lot when I've been studying this recently as well. And I'm blessed to be around this community while talking to people who teach me about this stuff as well. They jealous of Saeed Abdul, who's going to go down as a legend. Things can always twist. Revolutionary heroes can become tyrants. But this guy has been nothing but impressive. He has rejected bribes. The West has tried to buy Saeed out so many times. I heard nothing but good things about him. So it's promising right now, but we gotta understand the lyrics can always change, but he is killing the game. He is destroying them tactically. Like people, the racism of Europeans in the United States, they assume that they're Muslim enemies, they're African enemies, the others, the Chinese, the Russian, that they're barbarians. Guys, the Ansar Allah, when they released their press conference, if you guys ever get a chance, I don't have time to play them a lot. I see a lot of them on Twitter. They are very tactical in everything they do. They got a chessboard and they are moving the chess pieces. That's why they've been successful. When they announced their blockade of the Red Sea, you guys think they didn't consider the reaction of the West? They considered the logistics of the West being able to stop them, and they determined they can't. They realized that they would get diplomatic support. These are all calculations that they made, but honestly, white people in the West think these people are dumb monkeys who will never make these calculations. You guys see how the hubris of the West, just like every empire ever, if you study history, the hubris leads to their defeat because they literally start feeling like they're better than the other. But goddamn, I really do wrap this segment. I apologize. I'm 45 minutes. They also just simply, I'll quickly read it. They simply enjoy being wrong. They don't know about geopolitics. This is literally everyone except our community. Everyone you see on your show, that includes anyone you see, like Misty, anyone you see on the show, that doesn't include those people. But the people who are not covering this issue, how many people covering Yemen as extensively as I've done the last few months? There's not many. Handful of people. Anyway, the rest of it is pure hilarious. I will hereby respect Ansar Allah, and I will not talk down to the brave Yemeni resistance. Your apology needs to be as loud as your disrespect was. Now, that's more than the humor. That's why I show this more than anything else. Because the absolute last point, I promise, is you guys know how many fucking social democrats, pacifist fucks, was waving their finger at Yemen. Go back in the timeline. Go back in the time machine. You know how many social democrats condemned what Yemen did? Who has been the most effective at opposing Israel genocide thus far? Yemen literally created a coalition with Russia, China, and many Middle Eastern countries that support them in their action, that legitimize their action. Yemen have been way more effective than every single European and United States leftist combined. So I know we had a lot of fun in this segment, but that last part is exactly why I'm covering this story. And the reason why I continue to drive this fucking knife in their back and remind them that it was wrong and I was right, because your apology needed to be as loud as your disrespect was. You got the United States left in the West, they push pacifism. They push ineffective strategies, and then they are aggressively wrong. They never move on. They never admit they was wrong, and they continue to push ineffective strategies. We're moving on from that, aren't we, Misty? I apologize. I'm done. My notebook got thrown away, and now my timing and everything off today. So, Misty, I'll pass to you.
No,
for the last words, and we move on to FISA. I know you guys wait for that story as well.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, I don't really have much else to add to this other than
we covered it pretty extensively. I know.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you guys join late, what happened? I started late with stream because I usually use an online-based software to organize my show notes. It literally, the service went down like 15 minutes for my show, so I'm kind of doing this live. So I apologize for that. Segment going a little long, but hey, man, at least we're getting through it. So I did this tweet up because I had to pretty much build this FISA segment from scratch. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. That was like the worst time. So let's pull this tweet up from Edward Snowden.
He's been great on this. Thomas Massey, great on this. Justin Amash has been great on this. They all
actually,
have
Misty,
a lot
do you want to talk about it first while I get some receipts pulled up? What's your general take about, just to help me stop for time, about the House and the bipartisan push to give United States government spying power? Because I've seen the corporate media, and there's the messaging come from Mike Johnson, Biden, Congress, and the media. They said it's a national security threat if our government don't have the right to spy on us. So I'll toss that to you, Misty, as I try to put a segment together.
I mean, holy fucking balls, y'all. I mean, this is the stuff that we've been trying to talk about in regards to the surveillance state and the lack of privacy and the censorship and all of that stuff. And it's just amplifying. And it's so frustrating because the Snowden releases were, over a decade ago, and nothing happened from that. Nobody seems to care. They're continuing to spy on us. Now it's like they're voting away your rights. Literally, they're voting away. It's like the George Carlin skit. They're not rights if they can be voted away. That's exactly what we're experiencing here. And it's insane. It's insane to watch this play out. But Thomas Massey has a really great thread up. He's awesome on this.
Let's see if I can find it.
I disagree. I have it pulled up, but I disagree with him on a whole host of things, obviously. The Massey one?
Yeah, if you have the link, I could find it too.
Let me see.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw off the flow.
No, you're fine. Why is it pulling up like that? That's weird.
Because I didn't see what Massey said. I'm actually interested.
He has a great thread, so he really and he's great at this.
See,
he's really good. Listen, again, I disagree with Thomas Massey on a whole host of things. I like him though. I think I at least think he is a genuine actor in terms of politicians, as much as you can be. Not that I trust him or.
He's someone I can form a coalition with on certain issues.
Yes,
you guys
that's what I'm always looking for.
That is the absolute best thing I can ever say about someone who's a capitalist. You guys realize that?
Yeah.
We
agree on a lot of shit. Like, there is a lot of really important shit that we agree on, and I would much rather focus on that than.
Yeah, I'm a coalition builder. So the best thing I can say about someone, if I'm like, I can form a coalition with you.
Yeah,
just take that. That's the best. That's the best you guys are gonna get from me when it comes to praising the kind of people. I think that's enough. Like, when it comes to Thomas Massey, when it comes to Julian Assange, when it comes to civil liberties. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he spoke up on Ukraine as well. And generally wars. I can form coalition with those people, but it starts and ends that coalition. I think that's my mindset. I reject the bullshit mindset from what I call the CIA left, the infiltrated left, that they just don't believe in coalition building. They believe in if you're not able to perfectly recite every 42 gender that we made up, we're gonna cancel you. That's what they believe. If you're not able to purposely recite every single litmus test on social issues that we have, we can't organize with you because you're a fascist. Guys, I don't believe in that. And I unapologetically don't believe in that. I reject liberalism. I believe in coalition building. Most people don't believe in a lot of the radical shit I believe. Like most people not a well, actually I gotta be careful how I phrase this because that's actually not true. Because a lot of people do want to dismantle the system, but they're not. I'm very far left. If I was to have a mindset where I cancel everyone who don't believe and everything I say down the line, I'm organizing with no one. I think that's probably the best way to say it.
Yeah.
If I would organize with no one if they agree with me on everything.
And I may even disagree with why you want to get to a certain thing. Like we may disagree on that, but if the end game is still the same, I'm selfish. I'd like to get some shit done. Yeah. So I don't care.
If I can trick these dumb motherfuckers into supporting some revolutionary shit, I'm all down. For example, you got right wingers that talking about collectively bargaining, collective organizing with workers, not realizing that's a socialist tactic. I'm like, all right, bet. I don't care if you call it socialism or not. If you guys down with class warfare, collective bargaining, which is a socialist tactic. Cope, guys. That's a tactic that was invented by Marxism, advanced by Marxism. That American working class like, damn, that's a good idea. There's no collective bargaining before that. But anyway, here's one of the tweets from Thomas Mackey. I see you send me a private chat. Is this it?
Yeah. This is one of them. Like he's really good at like breaking things down and explaining things in a really easy to digest way.
Misty, you good at fast reading. Do you want to read a little bit? Do you want to do that?
I can, sure. Okay, so let me go back up here on my own computer. Okay, so many people have been this is from the 10th. So this is from 3 days ago. This is right before the vote. So many people have been misled today. There was not a vote on the FISA bill. There was a vote on a resolution that would have allowed FISA as well as 6 amendments to it, including a warrant requirement amendment and 3 other pieces of legislation to come to the floor. It continues on partisan procedural votes like this. Democrats reflexively vote no and Republicans typically vote yes. 19 Republicans voted with all the Democrats to stop everything from coming to the floor today, including the warrant amendment to FISA. Many of us who are adamantly opposed to warrantless surveillance voted for the resolution, wanting to get a recorded vote on warrants and recognizing the speaker can otherwise suspend the rules and bring anything to the floor without a resolution like he did with the omnibus. Tactically, whether the 19 did the best thing or not is to be determined. They may have just stopped our only chance to have a vote on whether the government needs a warrant to spy on you. That vote might not have passed, but everyone would have had to go on the record for the world to see. That's, to me, the key point. So what we had was a difference of tactics with members like Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ward Davidson, myself, and other defenders of the Constitution, parting ways with those who saw an opportunity to temporarily throw a wrench in things by voting with Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff. Now that the rules resolution for the bill plus amendments has failed, the swamp could 1, suspend the rules to pass a worse FISA, 2, make concessions and improve the rules for the bill, 3, say they don't need a new bill to keep FISA going, or 4, let the Senate move first on FISA. He then includes a little video of his speech, which is a good speech. He talks a lot about, we can talk about the reason why FISA is so fucked and the numerous ways in which it's abused. But I also think this first comment here at the bottom really summarized it. This guy said, so if I understand correctly, tactic 1, introduce the rules, vote on amendments and warrant requirements. Even if it fails, we can see the traitors to the Constitution. And tactic 2 was reject the rules, temporarily fail to reauthorize FISA, can then hope that future FISA bill includes concessions and warrant requirements. So that was the divide in the Republican Party and the way that they approached this. So some of them wanted to get that vote on record. I think that would have been the ideal situation. And then tactic 2 was to reject the rule, hope that they can then any future FISA bill will include the things that they're fighting for. That's not a guarantee, though. And in fact, it's highly unlikely. They really want this stuff. They really want to be able to spy on you.
Do you guys know how crazy it is?
Yeah.
That Republicans, Trump supporters are supporting giving the Biden administration the ability to spy on them? Spy on the. I thought you guys was worried about FISA. You guys see that flip? Mike Johnson used to care about this.
Yeah.
But you guys have to understand what's going on. You have Republicans that is teaming up to give the Biden administration unchecked, unregulated power. This is an increase of their power. Tell me more about how they oppose each other in this two-party duopoly. Now look at this, because this is a giant push by Joe Biden. Mike Johnson went like this with Joe Biden. If I was a Republican, if I was someone who cared, this is what I would be hammering this motherfucker with. That's not my sphere. I don't care about this. But if I was like an enemy of Mike Johnson, now I was a Republican, Mike Johnson teamed up with Joe Biden. How is that not an attack ad everywhere? You know what I mean? Just thinking out from the
I've
outside.
seen a little bit of that. I've seen a little bit
It's
of the
probably
right.
coming. Now think about it. It's
Yeah.
probably coming. That's
Yeah.
not my thing. But that's what happened. Look at this tweet. I found one of the things I saved. I'm glad. I appreciate your help. You're probably the best guest I could have on for this malfunction today because we actually did. We actually got everything going pretty well. I was able to find this. I had this saved. Here's Edward Snowden, who's been all over this.
Of course.
Covering this as a citizen journalist. Edward Snowden says the White House is calling the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution a threat to national security.
This is not the first time they've done this. This is not the first time that they've done this. This is where I'm going to get fired up because this is the shit we have been screaming about. This is it. This is the shit. Here it is. This is, it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating. This is exactly what they have. This is the intention. They want to have full control over information. They want to be able to control everything you see, hear, think, read, know, question, talk about. And that's what this shit is intended for. And so now they're literally calling you a national security threat. Your constitutional rights
because
are a national security threat.
You know how unhinged the national security intelligence community is when they
psychopaths.
They didn't want a warrant. That was this whole fight was about. I have watched a few corporate media segments that I don't need to show. It just wastes a lot of time. Where they were pretty much arguing that requiring them to get a warrant is a national security risk. That doesn't
even make crazy that is.
Sense. That doesn't even make sense. That stuff they argue with a straight face to our people, and people accept it.
People are fighting for it. Like they're like, yeah, we need to be able to spy on people to keep us safe.
And I've seen a few corporate media segments. I'm not just for the sake of time. I'm not gonna show them. If you guys care, check them out. Where they legitimately try to tie those two together. They say, well, if we are not able to spy on Americans without a warrant, how are we gonna stop Ukraine? And then they will never explain their thought process there. I mean, how are we gonna stop Russia? I mean, they're like, well, we don't spend the ability to spy on Americans. How are we gonna stop China? What did they come out with a spy? They're not even trying.
No.
And this is like another characteristic of fascist regimes.
Yeah,
their explanations for shit become cartoonish because they don't have to be they don't have to convince people. When you have late stage capitalist fascist regimes, late stage empires, they become cartoonish in their messaging because they realize they have such authoritarian power that democracy
they don't have to explain.
Yeah. So that's why
they don't have to explain.
Yeah,
fuck
Misty,
you. This
you
is what we're doing.
Saying?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of like institutionalist types. Like Ryan Grimm has been very triggered at like the Biden administration and their press conferences. Ryan Grimm and a lot of these people going through some things right now where they're like, I can't believe that they would say something so absurd. And Ryan Grimm, they've been doing decent jobs calling them like they're so absurd. I can't believe John Kirby would say something so crazy. Are they insulting our intelligence? God, don't you know this is the end game of every fascist empire is insulting our intelligence? We are at that point, and you voted for them.
Yes.
I'm glad you got
people. The likes of Ryan Grimm used to mock people for calling them out and used to pretend as if, oh, you're a contrarian. You're like, you're just so dumb. You don't have no idea what's going on. Like trying to compare him to Trump. They're the same, y'all. And what makes me, we bitched about Biden. Let's bitch about Trump because Trump's out here like FISA needs to die. It was used illegally to spy on me. Motherfucker, you used it when you were president. Not only that, you were the guy that ordered the spying operation against a journalist and publisher in Julian Assange at the Ecuadorian embassy, including conversations with his legal team so that you could figure out a way to indict him. So like the hypocrisy of both of these douche canoe teams pretending as if they don't serve the same agenda and both wouldn't love to have this as a power that they can use against each other in show, but really to use against us. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's what this is all about. This has nothing to do with Russia or China. They want to use it against you. That's what they want.
Absolutely. And whenever you see the uniparty unite in the way like this, cooked.
Bad.
It's all bad.
Yeah.
The media loves it. There's nothing institutions love more than seeing Democrats and Republicans team up together to take your fucking rights away. And we're in such a position. This is why I rejected all like former liberal thought, because people are going through some things right now.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't even like doing the caveats no more. Cause you guys know I don't like Matt Gaetz. I'm gonna do it even I'll just say it. I feel like I don't have to do that no more because I believe in coalition building. When I talk about Tucker Carlson and why I think it's good that he
I don't have
platformed
to
Palestinian
like
pastors.
somebody for them
Yeah,
to say something that's true. Like,
yeah,
just
we're
because
in a
truth is the
go
truth,
ahead.
no matter who speaks it. I don't care
Yeah.
who it is.
The point being is things are so weird that we have to do stuff like this every once in a while. We gotta show people like Matt Gaetz telling the truth. And that's why people like Ryan Grimm, like I said earlier, they're going through some things right now. Like Ryan Grimm, my personal opinion, I don't think he's gonna change. And Misty, you can push back on me if you want on this, but like Ryan has been fucking like angry, like in a way I never seen him before. Like Ryan Grimm, I seen tweets from him. I'm like, damn, God, that
He
was good,
makes me
Ryan.
mad. He
Yeah,
makes
so
me
you know what I
mad.
mean?
No, but I think honestly, he genuinely could be great. Like I think he has, he's
Yeah,
done
the
some
point
great
I'm
work
making,
journalistically. Like, I think he could be a cool dude, but he has definitely not chosen that path. He has chosen
yeah,
to be part of the
yeah, the
club.
point I'm making, because I'm being careful here, guys. The point I'm making is Ryan Grimm was a milk toast tool of the establishment, but he's going through some things right now.
Yes.
And now is where you can flip a coin. I don't think he's gonna reach I think he's gonna continue the same thing. That's my personal opinion. But there are gonna be a lot of these social democrats. I know this because I
A
gotta say
lot of them.
objectively. Just
Anna
objectively.
Kasparian.
Yeah.
Didn't she go through some crazy
Yeah, she was like, I'm done voting for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
So objectively, guys, their analysis on some things been good. But I don't think that's will they change, will they break out? I don't know. Politics is just that crazy. And I'm not bullshitting with you guys. I see like Ryan Grimm has been fucking furious on the timeline in a way I've never seen before. And the reason why I'm isolating him, because I'm using him as an example of a milquetoast social democrat. And I'm seeing anger from these milquetoast social democrats in ways I had never seen before. You know what I mean? Like kind of anyway, maybe I'm giving them too much credit. Maybe that's true too. Because
he blocked me again. What the fuck?
Why they always block Misty? They fucking hate Misty.
He blocked me one time.
Legit, Ryan Grimm.
Yes, Bree did too. But legit, Ryan Grimm once blocked me, talked shit about me on his timeline, and then unblocked me. Yeah. And then I was unblocked for a while, and I just went to check. I don't know when this happened, but I am now blocked again by Ryan Grimm. So there you have it. I'm not sure what I did or said.
I'm gonna just look at general reactions because I've since my notepad is broken. Here's VVAC. See, once again, everyone who's around this issue, like I'm not even gonna do the caveats. I'm just forming coalitions. If you're on this issue, I'm gonna praise you on this issue, just period. Because VVAC is annoying as fuck to me. But let's just read his take. VVAC says, "Shame on Republicans who publicly rail against weaponization of government, then quietly vote to reauthorize FISA 702, which enables the weaponization of government. Pathetically, they did it on a Friday afternoon to bury it in a news cycle. Mark my words, they'll do the same exact thing with the next round of Ukraine funding too." Another thing that Vivek said recently that I like, even though I hate Vivek, when he was talking about the Ukraine aid, he had a video where he was like, if before you guys pass any Ukraine aid, I need you guys to explain what the next $100 million is going to accomplish what the last $100 million. So he has been aggressive on pushing those fronts. I wish Vivek would shut the fuck up and focus only on those two fronts, because when you talk about literally anything else, he's annoying as hell. But I didn't have the tweet up. Sorry, I did not realize that. Sorry, this is the tweet I was reading. I just realized I didn't have it up. But the right wing, the faux right wing populists, the people who are actually upset about the abuses of FISA, they're having a field day with this.
Yes. I kind of love when stuff like this happens, though, because it really does unmask the hypocrites. Like, it's the same thing with free speech. Anytime somebody gets censored or whatever, and it's somebody that but right now, pro-Palestinian protesters are getting censored on campuses all across the country, and the free speech right is nowhere. They're nowhere. They got nothing to say about that, and that I kind of like when that happens, because listen, I like people who are consistent on principle. Not saying I'm perfect. Don't misunderstand me, but I try to be consistent all the time, especially on stuff like that. And I like when the hypocrites expose themselves, because it lets me know who my legitimate allies are on those fronts.
So maybe I'll just toss the notebook out in general when I have Misty on. I'm having a good time. I'm actually going through some of these reactions because I haven't seen a lot of these. So we're going through this live. I haven't seen this, but I have thoughts just reading this. So. For example, Trump criticizes FISA with Mike Johnson. So I know this press conference. So Mike Johnson had his press conference with Trump, where essentially they came out as a couple. Essentially, they essentially was talking about how much they love each other, right? Mike Johnson got the FISA extension done. You guys see, this is the Trump bullshit. I don't understand why people don't call Trump out for this. He say, "Oh, I'm for this issue," but he supports someone who has the exact opposite take that he does. Oh, Trump, I'm down Trump. I'm against wars, but I'm gonna hire Mike Bolton, John Bolton, and Mike Pompeo. I said Mike Bolton. I get, that would be a
they're all the
horrific
same.
fusion.
They're all the
That
same.
was hilarious. I didn't mean to do that.
They're all the same. Doesn't matter. They're all just psychopaths.
Mike
I
Bolton
like to call Bolton the Death Walrus. That's my name for him.
John Pompeo. Can you imagine?
John Pompeo.
Like if they had if one had a daughter, one had a son, and then they had kids.
Oh God.
Their grandchildren, their grandson.
That's what happens,
Mike
though.
Bolton.
It's very incestuous. That whole crew. Like they're all this breeding with each other. They're all friends. They all go to the same dinner parties.
Yeah, that's very possible. I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's fucking hilarious to me. Like the third generation Bolton. You got Mike Bolton, bro. That motherfucker is gonna be a threat. Anyway, let's move on. Let's watch the video. We're just having fun now. We can wrap up here soon. Let me know how you're doing on time, Misty.
I'm fine.
We're not gonna go too much longer. We kind of just shooting the shit now.
Which one? Well, I'm not a big fan of FISA. I looked at it and I studied it, and I know it probably better than anybody. You know, they spied on my campaign. You do know that, right? And they did lots of other bad things. I'm not a big.
If you don't know, while we're laughing, Trump expanded FISA, my friend. Anyway, let's move on. And I'll let
this guy. This fucking guy. This fucking guy. I mean, it's amazing. I know a lot about FISA. I know more than anybody. Oh, this fucking guy. He's hilarious. Bro, you got to give him that. He's hilarious.
He's hilarious, but MAGA people, communists, confused the shit out of me, bro. I said from day one, bro, I will never understand what people see in this guy. Like, just listening to him, I don't get it, bro. But anyway, let's move on.
He didn't do anything for you. Oh, it's so frustrating.
I don't get it, bro.
So frustrating.
I had my tweet that
I could go on a whole rant just about that. Oh,
actually, I'm gonna do a statement on that. This tweet I did actually. You know his stop at Chick-fil-A. Actually, let's do that. I'm gonna do that later because I actually want to make a point because the celebrity worship. I had a.
Yes.
I'm gonna see if I can find that. I'm gonna play the video. I'm gonna look for it and chime in after the video done so I can find it. Give me some time. So I'm gonna play the video all the way through, and then Misty, I want you to.
I'll rant for a little bit.
Which one? Well, I'm not a big fan of FISA. I looked at it and I studied it, and I know it probably better than anybody. You know, they spied on my campaign. You do know that, right? And they did lots of other bad things. I'm not a big fan of FISA, but I told everybody, I said, do what you want. They put a lot of checks and balances on, and I guess it's down to 2 years now, so that it would come due in the early part of my administration on the basis that we live up to the polls, because all the polls, we just had another one come out, we're leading by a lot, but it comes out quickly. I said, you do what you want, but I'm not a big fan of FISA. I think it's terrible. Yeah, Bob?
I think it's terrible.
Dude, the nerve of this man to say, you know, they spied on my campaign. I'm not a fan of that. Again, this guy expanded FISA, used FISA as president to spy on people that were his enemies, including, again, Julian Assange and his legal team, his doctors. But he's not a fan of being spied on. The hypocrisy of this twat on full display. And again, MAGA supporters listen, I personally don't have an issue with MAGA supporters. I don't understand your thing, but I'm not like gonna,
guys, my caveat on that point, Misty, my caveat is I'm mostly talking shit at the influencers.
Yeah.
And the people, like, the caveat, I know most people don't know this, but my caveats always are.
No beef.
Yeah, I got a lot of, I give a lot of grace to people who are brainwashed. I know a lot of people don't know that, but when I'm talking shit, I'm talking about
people that know better.
Yeah, go ahead, Misty.
Yeah, but it is about people that know better. That's a great clarification, because like the average, like I live in small town Ohio. I am surrounded by Trump supporters, and they're not bad people. Like they've been propagandized to be mad at the wrong things and the wrong people, but they're not bad people. And they're not unreachable either, which is a frustrating thing that people think that we should just dismiss them entirely. It's absurd. We agree on a lot of things. But yeah, this idea that that Trump is some savior for the people, or that he cares about you, it's very confusing to me why anybody thinks that. Not only has his entire life been the opposite of that, but his presidency, he did nothing for you. And the idea that they still go to bat for him, like I bring it back to Assange because obviously that's what I do. So it's what I have the most experience with. But I'll tweet about the idea that it was Trump that had him arrested, Trump that spied on him, Trump that plotted to assassinate him, and Trump supporters' brains malfunction. And they get mad at me and they throw a temper tantrum. I had one in my mentions the other day when I said that it was under Trump that he was arrested. And the guy was like, no, it's not. He got blah, 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 like threw a full on tantrum. And I'm like, my guy, just go look what the date that Julian Assange was arrested and tell me who was president at that time. And then they freak out. And then usually they just block me. And it's like, it's that hero worship thing. And that's why I don't like the labels and all of that stuff, because I feel like it makes people's critical thinking skills turn off, and they just become married to a person or an ideology or whatever, and then they stop thinking outside of that. And it is so frustrating, and it is pervasive.
Yeah, that's fair. That happens to a lot of people.
Yes.
I think that's an absolute fair position to take. With that said, I think this is a good time to introduce this. I wasn't planning this as a segment, but I didn't talk about this on RBN. I created a lot of discourse with this. A lot of MAGA people was upset because I called them out for their cultish behavior. Let's watch the video first, but I don't want to bury the lead. Just so you guys know, just so you have a little bit of background. I don't want to get my pin on it yet, but just for background, let me share this article. This has been a news cycle in a deeply unserious faction of the news. You know, the news that follows electoral politics. They've been talking about this for days. Trump's viral visit to Chick-fil-A, and Trump supporters have loved this shit, fam. Like every single Trump person, like, oh my god,
it's so weird.
Evidence that Trump is the greatest ever. Trump, or just like us, Trump is at Chick-fil-A ordering a chicken sandwich. We should give him the nuclear fucking codes. Anyway, sorry, I don't want to bury it. Let's watch the video first. And I swear to God, you guys are my friends, or you guys are my family. You guys are gonna feel the same way I feel, so I don't have to fucking feed you guys it. Let's play the video.
Can I have 30 milkshakes and also some chicken? And we're going to take care of the customers. Is business good? You're making a lot of money? Everyone's getting rich, right? Thanks very much. Look at where you hope. You like each other, right? I have 30 milkshakes and also some chicken. And we're going to take care of
I could not just stand there and smile at this turd and be like giggly. I could not.
So you guys see, this is the take that everyone had. You guys not think everyone. I see these tweets everywhere. They all love Trump. Isn't Trump so personable? Isn't Trump so funny? You guys either have the most unfunniest friends ever, or you guys are boring. What Trump did is literally no different than what any American does on any day.
Yes. Multiple times, like dozens, hundreds of times a day. Those casual small talk interactions when you go into some establishment to order something or to pick up your dry cleaning or whatever the fuck you're doing. Like, we're all having those types of interactions every single day, all day long. It makes this is what is so stupid about cult of personality. I don't give a fuck if he's funny or if he can interact with the Chick-fil-A staff without making a total fool of himself like Biden likely would have. But I don't care. Like, he was president for 4 years. What did he do for you? What did he do for you? Nothing.
He tried to kill Julian Assange. He tried to kill Julian Assange, but do you know he ordered 30 milkshakes that one time?
Hey, I mean, it's fine. He dropped the mother of all bombs. It's fine. I mean, but he ordered some milkshakes.
He killed General Soleimani of Iran, but hey, he went to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Guys, he went to Chick-fil-A. Obviously, he should be president. That's the bar.
Now, I want to show grace to these people in this video. My critique is of the culture. They are victims of the culture. I am critiquing the culture. So I'm going to show grace to them because they're caught up in this wave that was programmed by the establishment to treat politicians like cult celeb figures that they should be thankful that they're in the presence of.
Yeah.
And I see some people that say, well, Trump was on TV. He was on part of Celebrity Apprentice. God, it's the same thing with Obama. If Obama walked in that restaurant, if he walked in public, do you guys know how much he would be treated like a rock star, despite the fact that he dropped so many bombs that we ran out? I always forget the stat. I always had the stat. I always forget, like, he dropped like 22 bombs per minute, something like that. I gotta it's something crazy.
I think it's 22 a day.
22 a day.
I think so.
Like, he dropped so many that we ran out. But he'll go out in public and people treat him like a rock star. Do you guys know that this serves the establishment? And it is counter-revolutionary thought that have been implanted on the masses. These people work for us. Why do you guys think that Jose Vega shocked so many people? Why do you guys think so many people are shocked when politicians are called out? Because people, oh, you're supposed to be nice. These people are giving a presentation for us. You're supposed to be nice. No, they are our employees. They are public figures that work for us.
Yeah, they're supposed to be.
Revolutionary theory. Restate and revolution. I'm not asking anyone to be a communist, but you gotta understand how much better we would be as a society if state and revolution with fucking mandatory reading. This is stuff that theory talk about. Theory talk about the relationship between the proletariat and the government. They work for us. They want to present this scenario where they are our superiors, where they tell us what to do and we shut the fuck up. That's why they have disdain towards people who call them out in public. Because they're like, no, you don't call us out. We set the agenda and you guys shut the fuck up and fall in line. It's the exact opposite way it should be. So the fact that you guys are treating people who work for us like celebrities, it's appalling.
Stop treating celebrities like celebrities. What the fuck is that? I don't understand that. The celebrity although I will say there are probably some people that if I met, I would be starstruck, and like people that have like especially musicians or bands, because I'm like super into music. So I mean, I kind of get it to a certain extent. But I guess it's the celebrity worship. Yes. Like I think having respect for somebody and admiring their work and appreciating their work and all of that, I think that's one thing. And I think it's okay to worship these. Really?
My sister is a big fan of Beyonce. Went to one of the concerts on her tour. Giant fan her entire life. But that's it. She enjoyed her music. She don't know her fucking entire life. You will see these, what they call them? What they call Beyonce's fans? Like
Beehive or Bayhive or Beehive?
Bayhive.
I don't know.
Bro,
like that.
These people are psychopaths. And I might get,
yes.
You motherfuckers might get being canceled. Please don't clip.
They're gonna come for you. Oh my God, you just opened up a door. You just they're gonna come for me too, just because I'm here.
And you guys clip this and they get hold of this, they will destroy RBN.
They will.
That point, and I'm bringing them up because their life revolves around Beyonce. Like, I am not exaggerating. I've seen stuff like, obviously not we're talking about, where people, their mental health revolve around Beyonce.
Yes.
They will see stuff happen to Beyonce, like, and Taylor Swift is what they're like, oh my God, like Swifties. I see people say now. Like, I had a girlfriend. Sorry, let me get a little bit off track because this is a funny anecdote story. When I was in college, I dated this girl who was a giant Taylor Swift fan. When I was in college, what happened when I was in college, my friends? That Kanye West called out Taylor Swift at the award show. I was watching the award show. Maybe I watched 3 award shows my entire life. I hate award shows.
Yeah,
my parents hate award shows. I watched the award show with her because she was my girlfriend. And I'm going to watch the award show with her because she's my girlfriend. And she loved Taylor Swift. Bro, the night that Kanye West interrupted Taylor Swift and told her that she didn't deserve that word, I thought that was the funniest shit. I laughed. Bro, my girlfriend was damn near in tears, bro. We got into a legitimate fight. She's like, you think this is funny? Wait. It was funny. Like, it was objectively funny what happened that night. Bro, she was in shambles. Like, this is why this relationship openly didn't work. Because, like, many Americans, their really mental health is tied to these people. Like, bro, she was a wreck for a whole week after that Taylor Swift shit. She was ranting about Kanye West, and you remember the media coverage? They were so upset. You guys see this celebrity culture drive me crazy.
I think it's fine to like be a fan of somebody, to like really get into it, right? Because I tend to hyperfixate. I obviously have ADHD, and I tend to hyperfixate. So if I like discover a new band or something, I might listen to nothing but that band for like 6 weeks straight. And I think that like I think that there's levels to it, right? There's nuance to it. I think it's fine to be a fan of somebody, to really enjoy their stuff, to want to listen to it all the time, all of that. But I think, like you just said, to make your, and I see like there's a bunch of TikTok and Instagram accounts that are focused on like just what did Taylor Swift eat today? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's obsessive. Like, that's just, I don't think you need to take it to that level. And I think it's fine to like things. And I never want to be somebody who like sneers at somebody for enjoying something. Like, I don't like when people do that. I think
there's a clear difference in what we're talking about, because I enjoy people's work too.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of people, but I
just think that there's levels to it. Like it's one thing to be a fan. It's another thing to be fully obsessive about that person, have to know everything they're doing at every moment of every day. And if they have a bad day, suddenly you have a bad day. Like all of that is very next level.
Yeah, I'm glad I passed the test, because I always hated celebrity culture. And like what you said earlier, you don't know how you react if you met people. I met a lot of people that I had a lot of respect for, even doing RBN. Like I'm not gonna be a dick writer, but I'll just name a few people. Now I don't want to be a dick writer. Like for example, Lee Camp. I just unapologetic. I've been following Lee Camp for a very long time.
I got really nervous the first time I met him. He came to one of our Assange actions.
My first interview with Lee Camp, I was like, holy shit, I'm not talking fucking Lee Camp, bro. Like Lee Camp was like one of the first independent media people I followed. He followed, he covered Israel Palestine for a long time. Had him on a show just talking to another guy. Like people I look up to. I met a lot of these people before, and then when I'm around them, to me, I don't get it. That's just me personally. I'm like, oh, that's Lee Camp. It's cool.
Yeah. Like, the first time I met him, I was super weird, but I'm a very awkward person. I'm sure that probably is very
apparent. I don't want to be judgmental, so that's fair.
No, I am very awkward. Especially in person. But like the first time I met Lee Camp, we were at an event outside of the British Embassy in DC, and I was like, oh my God, Lee Camp's here. Like I was talking to the other people that we organized with, and I'm like, oh my God, Lee Camp's here. This is so cool. And so like I ran over to him and I'm like, hey, thanks for coming. And then I just stood there.
And I'm like, Jamo Braca on as a regular. How do I handle myself around a Jamo, guys? You guys see how I compose myself pretty well, right?
Yeah.
I voted for, you guys know I voted for him, right? In 2016.
I voted for him and Joe.
It was 2016, right? Or 2016. It was Sherry Hakala in 2020 and 2020. Yeah. I voted for Jamo. I knew who Jamo was for a very long time, my friends. The first time we got a Jamo on our show, I was fucking geeked. But you guys see when I have him on the show, what's up, man? Like, I don't like being weird. Like, we just ordinary people. I respect his work.
Yeah.
You guys see, that's the point I'm making when I'm talking about this. Jamo, there's a lot of people we see on RB, and I have like that. Damn, like, damn, these fucking. I can't believe I talk to this person. But they people at the end of the day, and that whole thing where you need to see them people when they meet celebrity, they pass out.
I can't.
What the fuck is wrong with you people?
That's not me.
I'm glad.
I would never.
And I didn't know how I would react when I.
I'll be awkward as fuck, but I'm not gonna be like, oh my God. I'm not.
The people that faint.
I'll say something dumb, and then I'll panic. So then I'll say something dumber to cover up the dumb thing, and then it'll spiral out of control from there. But I'm not gonna like lose my shit.
Yeah. Anyway, we just showing shit now. I gotta have you back on. Always fun to do our shows. I'm glad I was able to have you on today, especially considering that there's a lot of weird things going on with my fucking technology here. But anyway, let's read some super chats and we get out of here. I don't want to go longer than 90 minutes because there's UFC 300 today. If you guys martial art fans, like our holiday, like there's, for example, UFC 100, UFC 200, UFC 300. There's only been 3 of these, guys, and the 100 shows they purposely made like crazy stacked. Like the show they have on tonight is stacked, fam. So it's a fucking thing. I get our boys coming over, you know.
Nice. Let's get out of here then, so you can go have some fun.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not gonna do a long show today. So we only got 3 of these, and then the next big UFC show is gonna be 400. So the next show is gonna be like maybe a few years. Like this is to say it's like a Super Bowl is an understatement because you get a Super Bowl every year. Like we get a UFC 100 in the 100 style like every few years. So tonight's gonna be a big day for martial art fans. I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna hang out with a lot of my friends, but I'm gonna read some super chats, and I'll hit you up soon. People love Nick and Misty. I have a good time. One of my funnest shows. I always say before, like when it comes to enjoy, like the amount I enjoy doing the show, no better guest than Misty, my friend. Anyway, let's move some super chats and we get out of here. Thanks for the $2, Nick Riviera. Show on Thursday. Absolutely. If you're watching this right now and you didn't see Thursday, watch the show on Thursday. If you're gonna watch any show, watch the show on Thursday. I know we talk about fun shit sometimes. I think there's nothing wrong with that at all.
No.
If you're gonna watch any show, watch the show I did with the Palestinian organizers. And by the way, like I have great relationship with them. They enjoy being on the show. Like a lot of them I met for the first time, actually hooked this up. So trust and believe, this is not the last time you're gonna see a lot of these people on the panel. Like Ashra, Reem, Save. These people are actually I learned later they have big Instagram accounts. I didn't know who these people was. I did a few of them had big Instagram accounts, a few of them was activists. The point is I'm gonna have a lot of them back on the show, and I'm gonna bring a lot more of these activists. So big shout out to Madison for Palestine, Ashley, all the people that hooking up RBN with these Palestinian activists, because you're gonna see a lot more of that. These are the people that we need to platform. These are the people I'm interested in talking to, not the professional managerial class. So anyway, thank you for the shout out, Nick. Make sure you guys watch that panel because it was very insightful. Like I learned so much stuff from the people I talked to. Like they taught me stuff. Every time I talk to these Palestinian scholars, activists, they always teach me stuff. But anyway, let's move on. Feel free to interrupt anytime if you want to respond to any super chats. We just have a few here. Thank you for 999 Old Crow. I always have good luck when I get a Misty and Nick rant on Saturday. Let's go. Let's go. It's very therapeutic.
It is. Therapeutic. It is like therapy. Yeah. You're like, I love fellow ranters because it like that energy is all like being able to just feed off of each other and just vent about things is always nice. That's always fun.
Yeah,
that's a good time.
I think you said this as well. And I have a friend, I don't want to say their name, well, I told them to keep at it at their channel. They was kind of frustrated. But I'm like, bro, like I didn't get into this for numbers. Like I had a lot of fun, like talking to people, learning stuff. I have journalists on, people, all these amazing people teaching me these great things on the show. The community I'm building, like that was way more important than numbers and clicks to me.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for that. Like I can have Misty on, she can teach me some great things. We can have a John on. John will teach me some great things. Mark Kimberly. So if anything, if you have interest in this, the point I'm making is I highly recommend you get into it. Even if
don't get into it to get rich and famous, because that's unlikely.
No one who is successful does that. No. Well, I would say anyone who actually legitimate. Like RBN, we didn't make money like our first year and a half. Despite people calling us a grifter, we didn't make a fucking cent. Like I had my own Patreon, my old show. We had our own show, had my own Substack. But we was hustling, bro, when we first started. You guys don't have.
I did 4 years of shit entirely for free. I didn't even have a Patreon. Nothing was monetized. Yeah. Anyway, I just did it for free.
Anyway, I need to stop ranting. I shut up. But you guys have no idea, man.
I'm a delight. That's never a word that I have been called, I don't think.
I would say that. I'm calling Misty a delight. Happy Saturday, y'all.
I'm a fucking delight. I'm a little ray of sunshine.
The PMC left hate Misty, which is okay. They hate me too. Like if the establishment of
who hates
the PMC left.
Oh God, yeah.
Like Bree got her blocked.
Bree, Jink, everyone, Ryan Grimm.
Misty one of the most blocked people. She gives them hard facts that they can't stomach.
I don't even go at people directly. I mean, generally, sometimes every once in a while, but I mean, I will like openly express my opinions, and then people will just block me. That's why I don't know what happens, because it's not like I was interacting with Ryan Grimm and then he blocked me. He just blocked me. I have no idea why or for. I have no idea.
It's shady, bro. It's shady. Let's continue with some few super chats. I see a few more piled in. I appreciate the support at the end of the show, guys. Thanks for 999, John. What do y'all think about Scandinavian social democrats? Oh, come. You want me to do another rant here?
Right.
Anyway, John always leaves great super chats. Big shout out to John. He always leaves great thought-provoking super chats. What do y'all think about Scandinavian social democracies compared to communist countries like Cuba, Vietnam, China, and North Korea? I'm gonna
keep it short. DSA of.
Yeah. I keep it short because I actually rant about this a lot, and I don't want to go on another rant. I have way more respect for Cuba, Vietnam, China, and Korea because they are axes of resistance against the West. Social Scandinavian social democracies are only able to afford the welfare states that they create because of imperialism. Because Sweden is one of the largest arms dealers. You guys know that Sweden was one of the largest armors of the Yemeni genocide, supported the Saudi Arabia campaign against Yemen. They are a giant arms dealer, and that's how they're able to fund their social democracies. Now, to be clear, if we're going to be intellectually honest, we had to be clear to the workers. There are progressions in economics. Neoliberalism was an upgrade from feudalism. Everyone who's is honest can admit that. The same way that I, as a Marxist, as a communist, can honestly admit that social democracy, a welfare state, is a upgrade from neoliberal capitalism. Having a state where you provide people with healthcare, this is why these countries are generally happy, but it's not the end stage because that
still requires
system,
exploitation.
Yeah, absolutely. See, Misty understand. Our friend Misty understand. So that's my take. I'll be very short. That's about as brief as I can get on that question. So let's move on. You guys see John always be great chat stuff. I think we got another one from John. So let's read this thing for 1999. During Bernie campaigns, I followed Michael Brooks' show, Chapel Trap House, Jacob. Damn, John, you came a long way, bro. Because John leaves great comments. I know John pretty well just based on the comments he leaves. So, bro, you came a long way. Is that true? Chapo, Jacob Ben DSA. Now he followed RB and Glenn. Gray Zone. See, that's a great crowd to be in. Danny Hyphon, Dude Distance, and JD. Good shout out to
and this is why I never dismiss anybody out of hand, because everybody's on a journey. Everybody's figuring things out, and nobody. I mean, there's some people who I think are irredeemable, but I mean, it's a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage of people who are just legitimate psychopaths and cannot be reasoned with. But I think that a vast majority of people are open. You just have to figure out a way in.
Yeah, it's tricky to explain it, but because we're smart enough to understand the nuance. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like John Fetterman is irredeemable. You know what I mean?
Most politicians are irredeemable.
The person who just simply not bright and just fell for propaganda is redeemable.
Yeah.
And I don't have time to give you guys caveats on every thought I have. I will spend hours just giving you guys a simple thought. Whenever I rail on these people, the caveat always is, the reason why I'm so mad is because I'm upset at Cenk Uygur and the influencers for tricking the people.
Yes.
I have sympathy for the people who are tricked. There are people who are well-meaning who voted for Biden because they thought Trump would end America.
We've all been tricked at some point. All of us. Yeah. I am somebody who is obsessed with propaganda, and I'm still not immune to it. We're all susceptible to that kind of stuff. It is incredibly powerful. They have years of research on how to manipulate our brains, how to make us think certain ways. You have to be incredibly vigilant at all times and constantly second guessing yourself and questioning everything and all of that stuff. And so nobody is immune to it. So that's why I refuse to look at somebody who might be a Trump voter or whatever and just be like, whatever, I'm too good for you. Not at all. I don't think that's not effective at all.
Yeah,
the idea, if you want to win, you have to exit your safe space and go talk to people who don't already agree with you and convince them that your ideas are better. That's how it works. So it's very bizarre to me that that's controversial and that people will get mad at you for being willing to do that kind of stuff. But holy cow, do people get mad at you? It's ridiculous.
Thank you for the 199. That's a funny ass name. I'll let you guys read it. Thank you for the 199. I'm so scared of China. I'm wetting myself. Very funny guy. Very funny guy that guy is. Thank you for $5. Auto Carnage. If I waste my time voting, I'm writing Vladimir Putin.
I'm writing. I might I was talking to my husband the other day. I'm like, I might go write in Julian Assange. Legit.
I'm voting. I'm planning on voting because I told you guys I'm lucky enough where I have a library right next to me, so it don't take me that long to vote because I usually
it's super easy here.
I'm voting only because of the ballot initiatives. You guys
I don't know if I have any. I don't know if I have any yet that are worth voting for. I mean,
I vote Green Party because Green Party on the ballot unapologetically because they're anti-war and I like their anti-capitalist stance. I vote for them because I'm like I'm there. I might as well vote for them. That's despite what Cornel West's dumbass fan base don't understand. They're like, Nick hate Dr. Cornel West. They're like, you fucking idiots. My criticism was I can't vote for you because you did shit. You made moves, so I can't vote for you. That was my criticism, and people was upset. So I wouldn't be able to vote for Dr. Cornel West, even if I wanted to, which I'd not. I will vote for the Green Party candidate. I probably will because they're ballot initiatives. I got to see which one to finalize. I made a list. The amount of I actually don't need to do a mini segment. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I just had to search my Twitter. The ballot initiatives that scheduled for Missouri this year, actually, I want to say it just so you guys know if you live in Missouri, is wild. Few of them still need to be approved. You're not going to take that long. I just got to search my Twitter real quick. Let me search ballot. I'm telling you, this right here is the only reason I'm about to vote. Where is it? Here it is. Let me pull this up. Here's the ballot initiatives in Missouri. They have a minimum wage increase, term limits, possible ranked choice voting, earned paid sick leave. Now, that's probably one of the biggest things to me, the paid sick leave. They talk about tax on capital gains. I'll pull that up. I think that's worth voting for. And there's like a few more that I left out that a lot of people put in the tweet thread. But that's the only reason I'm voting. Like if it wasn't for that, and this too, they put in a public option, some public health insurance co-op on the ballot, which I don't know if it's. I'm sure it's not perfect. All you communists are screaming at me, but it will be improvement to what Missouri has. So I would definitely vote for that over what we have. So that's the only reason I'm voting. I'll probably write in. I'll probably vote for Stein, to be honest, because she's anti-war. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. There are no other options. I will consider PSL. PSL they've been pissing me off some recently. And also, they're not on the ballot in Missouri. But that's where I'm at. Just respond to that super chat. Let's move on. Few more super stickers. Thank you for 499 Sean for that super sticker. Thank you for $2 Penny. Omar ran me out of town hall for APAC Ukraine rant. You mean Ilhan Omar?
Ran you out of what? A town hall for APAC? So were you criticizing Israel? Because
he says APAC and Ukraine rant. That's why. Apparently, that's very interesting. Unfortunately, maybe not everyone able to get those clips. Maybe he wasn't able to get video, but that'd be interesting if that happened. And good for you. But what I said, I'm already went a little bit longer than I planned, as always. As always, I gotta go. Misty, anything else you want to shout out before we wrap up?
I mean, just obviously Assange stuff. There is chinks in the armor. Obviously, we don't. Biden probably had no idea what he was doing, but I do think that there is. I think honestly, they're trying to find a way to back out of this while also maintaining a perceived victory. I feel like they have gone at this so long. It's like sunk cost fallacy. They're in it so deep at this point that I think that they think that they have to get some kind of a win. Otherwise, it was like, what's the point of the past 14 years of torturing this dude? So there are chinks in the armor. So obviously, if you want to do like the House Resolution 934, you can make phone calls on that. I think that the FISA vote offers up another opportunity to see who voted which way and focus our outreach on the people who are obviously voting to protect civil liberties, because those people are going to be more interested in our cause for sure. So and then other than that, the Misty Winston show is going to start on the 21st at 8 p.m. So running it independently now, obviously, since I left TNT. So I'm very excited. It's probably going to just be still an hour, maybe longer, depending on who I have on, what's going on, if we need extra time or additional time. That's the great thing about being independent. I won't have time constraints, but I think generally I'll try to keep it to an hour because I feel like that's a comfortable time frame for everybody watching. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. So check that out. And then also we've been doing the vigils. We brought back the vigils. We just did one on the 11th for the anniversary of his arrest and all of that stuff. So the next deadline, the U.S. government has until April 16th to submit their assurances. If they submit those assurances, then there will be another hearing on May 20th. If they do not submit assurances, I'm fairly certain, and don't quote me on this because I'm not positive, I'm still waiting for a response from somebody on this, but I think if they do not present assurances, which is unlikely, but if they don't, I think that means he automatically gets the appeal, which just means months of them kicking the can down the road for even longer. Obviously, they want to get past the election. If they were going to extradite him, they don't want to do it now. But I mean, just if we can increase the pressure as we move forward to that. So yes, and it's a live show, Robbie. Yes, video. It'll be on YouTube, probably Odyssey, Rockfin, Rumble, all of the places, because you have to be on all the places. It's very. I probably won't be on YouTube for long, so we'll see. But yeah, I think that's all I got right now.
Yeah, and I definitely gonna be down joining you because it's been a while since we had one the rant session on your show. Like, if you guys don't know what's playing, pretty much the same thing. Like, whenever Misty had me on her show, or I go on her show, or she go on my show, it's the same thing essentially.
Just a rant fest.
I'm definitely gonna be down when you two shows started. Make sure you guys check out Misty. Always killing it with their activism and what I would describe as citizen journalism. Make sure you guys check out the panel I did on Thursday, which is why to our old conversation before, like the panel I did highlighting the voices with those Palestinian activists who would never ever be featured. That's as legitimate as journalism than anything you ever find in corporate media. That's why I don't talk down on myself. That panel I did with the Palestinian activists is more important than anything you've seen in CNN and MSNBC. There's no better journalism work than highlighting those people. Anyway, so make sure you guys check out that panel. It was great. We definitely gonna do it again. I'm also planning next week. It's probably gonna be next Thursday. I had to reschedule. Big shout out to my friend Noah from Midwestern Marks for hooking me up. You guys see, we build this community. They have this professor. I think we get someone else who was fired for their job for just telling the facts about Israel. Like just plainly speaking about what colonialism is, explaining why Hamas resisted. He was fired. And people don't understand the fascist authoritarianism that Zionism imported to our country. Well, that's not even the best way to put it because we always had it, but you guys see what I'm saying. Just keep it simple. They importing anti-free speech fascist ideology that is normalized to the point where Americans can lose their job and be financially retaliated against for criticizing a hostile foreign country, and no one realizes how fucking ridiculous that is. So that's next week. We hash out details. I'm thinking it's gonna be next Thursday. So the point being, we're gonna have a lot of great guests as always. I think it was another great week for Nick at Night and Nick at Noon. You gotta know, banger after banger. After banger, we got Misty on today. So you guys knew there was a banger. The Palestinian panel, that was a banger. After banger, after banger, after banger, after banger. So thank you guys for watching. I see you guys on Monday. We're gonna do Nick and CJ this Monday. I missed out this week. So Nick and CJ will definitely be returning for this Monday. So I'll be back on Monday.